11:22. It's your first confirmation. Straight up and down, off the bat, right away. Let's talk about what I got to say. And that is, you are here because you followed your intuition. There was something in the title that made you come here, right? One thing I love about my channel, as small and quaint as it is completely organic. I broadcast who gets it, who gets it. I post on Instagram. I wasn't on it for a while. Yeah. And I don't do TikTok. I just do this. I just do what I do and what I love to do. And I know those who will find it will find it. But that's the whole point, is that you found it. You followed your intuition. And the things resonated here because of your intuition. 55 seconds on the clock. I have gifts. You damn straight I have gifts. So do you. That's why I'm here. Auntie RHEA. Auntie Mother of the Gods. Magna Mater Deum. The Great Mother of the Gods. 111. The XMen. The X-Women. RH negative. Starseed empath. Servant, true royalty serves, and it is an honor to serve the divine, the Holy Spirit, the Most High. And that came with a lot of self-reflection. That came with a lot of ugly moments, having to face my own self. But that's why we're born in it, chosen. That's why you were born 1:44 on the mother trucking clock. Salah. That's why we are chosen. Because through the universal law of non-interference. Remember Star Trek, the movie, the current one? In the beginning of the movie, they're on this like planet, and the soil and the sky is like white, and the trees are red. And there's like these aboriginal like tribal people. And if you know the scene, you know the scene. I guess you could, maybe I could look it up and put it in the comments. If I find it, I'll put it in the comments below. 2 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. And they need to like get a lift up out of there. But I don't know who it is. If Kirk is calling Spock or whatever, but they're like, we can't interfere. Like this planet, we can't land. I don't know if they had to land there or go. They were just basically saying that you can't go there. That planet is not supposed to be touched for another like 500, another 5,000 years. Like you can't land there. And they're like, we gotta land there. We ain't got no choice. It was a situation like that. We have to be born from the inside. We have to see for ourselves. We have to walk. We have to trip and fall. We have to fuck up. We have to do something that makes us not like our reflection in the mirror, or that feeling in your sacral chakra in the center of your stomach. You know that heaviness you feel, or that feeling in your heart when you've done something wrong. That's the importance of feelings. Guidance system. Divine technology. Jedi magic. However you want to look at it. 3:33 on the clock. People will call you demonic, Starseed, and it's funny to me because I laugh at that. Like, we came here to help y'all because where we come from, we have clean, fresh, live water that is protected. Never would we poison our fucking waters. We come from a place where we protect children. We come from a place where we don't have wars. We don't have racism. We come from a place where we have libraries of knowledge open to all. Infinite libraries. We come from a place where we would never, ever allow what happened to Jesus Christ on this one of 3 planets or realms in all of the I don't even know how to quantify it. 3. And y'all wonder why you wonder quarantine, why you got a dome. Lucifer, rebellion, sound familiar? Like that shit wouldn't happen on our planet. That would, where we're from, we're on our realm. We stand for truth, justice, liberty, and freedom. So how dare you call a starseed demonic when Mother Earth called us here because y'all were dropping atomic bombs, because y'all learned to harness atomic energy, and that's not good for anybody. When ignorant children discover atomic energy. So I get very passionate about these things because everything is demonic. And it's like, you know, to animals on this planet, we might be demonic. People will say, I don't know, I would really have to go into the reptilian brain. I would really have to be starving for me to actually kill an animal and eat it. Like, I would literally have to have gone mad out of my mind to kill an animal and eat it. But I go to the store and I get meat all the time. And I was a vegetarian and vegan for 13 years. That animal sacrificed. That animal was sacrificed so I could eat. When you wear leather, when you wear fur, an animal is sacrificed so you can have a warm coat or a glamorous coat. Back in the day, they used everything, right? They used everything when they hunted and when they used an animal. That's why you have things like when you're like, ooh, gross, why were they eating eyeball soup? Because they had reverence. And sometimes they just needed to eat everything, but they killed an animal, so that animal did not die in vain. They're going to use every part of it, and they're going to be grateful, and they're going to say a grace or a blessing. And they only took what they needed. So for someone to call you demonic, Starseed, and call you a demon when Mother Earth called you here, when the whale and the orca elders called you here, when they started dropping their bullshit in the ocean, and they call you demonic, beauty products that we slather on our faces, do you know where all that stuff comes from? Vegan beauty. If you can't do vegan, do vegan beauty products at least. At least do vegan beauty products. Anyway, no, I'm not on a soapbox. I'm not preaching. But we were born on the inside. We walk the walk. And then the clarity begins. You start feeling that weight. You start feeling the knowing, like, oh no, that's not good for me. I don't like the way that feels. I don't want to do that again. Or you know, even before it happens. That's your learning space. That's your that's like your homework. It's like I keep hearing playground. That's your like when you practice on the basketball. I'm seeing a basketball court, like when you're practicing on a basketball court and you get really good. So the judgment and the regret and the trauma was for us to understand what is actually happening here. Now, the balance between the scales must be balanced, and right now the scales aren't balanced, and a lot of it has to do because of the innocence that is constantly sucked off this. That's why they attack the children's innocence. 8:33 on the clock. That's why. So we're gonna get into some stuff here. I want to get into Halloween. Halloween. Used to love Halloween because I love this time of year. There's something so magical from the Lion's Gate all the way through January. There's just this magical energy, and Halloween is when the veil between the worlds gets the thinnest. That's the point everybody be missing. Everybody's focused on the holiday, the pageantry, if you will, and the preparation and the party, and that energy is in the air because the veil is getting thin. And people feel it. Because it's not just, Halloween is when it's the thinnest, but it's gradually going thin on that day. To that day, and after that day too. You know what I'm saying? It's still pretty thin for a while. Like, and then you have the star, Orion's in the sky. You know, that holiday season, the Christmas. I always say that like my Austrian chef friend. Anyway, Christmas. But the light mass. a mass of light, unconditional red and green, anchoring unconditional love, compassion, brotherhood, from peace and brotherhood to man, to the earth. That's what I see when I see the holiday of red and green, the cardinals and the evergreen. And then, somebody's, I can't even lie. I was raised with the occult. I'm not gonna lie, but instead of saying I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna say I'm gonna be transparent. Like, I grew up with the occult, not necessarily like, there's so much, but a library of books from a place called the Theosophical Society. And my parents had taken me there from when I was a child. My mother was an Irish Catholic, and my grandfather was a strict Irish Catholic. Like, he had church all day. Never missed church. Never. That's not it. They're out of town, they're probably going to church out of town. And I allegedly, what I've been told, because I wasn't there, because I'm half black, so yeah, can't have that in the family. And there was holy water at the front and back door, so you could bless yourself. If you said shut up, it was rude, but you could say the N-word. Isn't that interesting? People who claim they're the most devout, religious, the Lord and my Jesus, and at church and doing all that, and they're the biggest racists. Don't have nothing to do with their granddaughter because she's half black. You know what I mean? That kind of energy. Don't have nothing to do with your daughter because she, had a baby out of wedlock by a black man, so everybody turned their backs on her. 1144. And I'm not trying, I'm just saying, like, so this was how my mother was raised Irish Catholic, and so she saw the hypocrisy. My stepfather who raised me, for the most part, his family was apostolic Christians, and they were fucking nuts, completely nuts, like, just, protecting pedophiles, at the same hypocrisy, but just a different brand of it. You know what I'm saying? So, and not to diss anybody out there, but so this was the people who raised me experience. So they went different ways, and it was the 60s and 70s. And you know what I'm saying? People were reading all kinds of books. So I grew up with a library of all kinds of books and all kinds of subjects. And I lived in the country. So there were no neighbors. There was nobody to go play with. And even if there was, they probably didn't want to play with me. So I spent my summers reading books, going through the libraries, scalding the libraries, you know what I mean? Sitting under a tree or on the front porch, reading until the sun went down. 10, 11, 12 years old, reading Jack London, Sea Wolf, and what's the other one? Jack London, Sea Wolf, and Call of the Wild? No, not, is it Call of the Wild? What is the other Jack London book? But that's the kind of stuff. And then you had all of these occult books. And you would I would see the imagery in here. So I say all that to say, and I know it was a lot. I've been given a different perspective on things. And I see evil, calling evil, animals probably think we're evil, we're the devil, we're Satan. People talk about fairies, like, don't go, fairy, hey, I gotta be diplomatic right here. Fairies, where do fairies live? In quiet places and out trees, and they done seen our evil. Looking through the leaves, up in the trees, wherever, peering around the corner, seeing the kind of evil that we do when nobody's around. Pot calling kettle black. And creation is sick of it. That's what I sense, my realm. Creation is like, we're tired of you. We're God's creatures too. And y'all are just as evil and jacked up as anybody else. There's good and there's evil in all of us. Because the devil has horns, so that means every horned creature is now an evil creature. Is that what that means? No. And a lot of times, humanity is blaming their evil on other realms that had nothing to do with what the fuck you talking about. That was you, dude. That was you, lady. That was you. Devil didn't make you do nothing. Devil can't make you do nothing. Take accountability. Everybody. And that's what I sense from the realm. There's a lot of things happening here, and it's creating, there's more and more sightings, more and more mimics, more and more skinwalkers, more and more jinn, more and more haunted houses, more and more, just more and more. Daily, people, what is going on? What are we creating on this planet that is manifesting? So back to Halloween. So I know a lot of people who, completely avert from Halloween, who don't want nothing to do with it. I have friends who are sensitive, who are like, I can feel the evil on that day. People are like, very religious or whatever. And there's good people in religion for sure. And good people who follow a religion. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to make them all, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to generalize. We want to point out the general bad people in every fucking thing. That's what I'd like to do, right? Because growing up mixed, I think, was part of my walk as a starseed, to see the gray area, to see the bullshit on both sides, to see the hypocrisy, to, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, I met amazing, first of all, there is no black and white. That's a checkerboard. Everybody's a shade of brown. From the lightest beige to the mahogany brown, honey. That is our family. White folk and black folk do not exist. That's word spells. It's the checkerboard on your back. And if you go into etymology and you study the law, because my husband is an indigenous Aboriginal Moor, because he's done his genealogy, Cherokee, Choctaw, and Cahokian, but we call them black. We call him black, but his international driver's license says an indigenous Aboriginal Moor. His international driver's license, because the international community recognizes him as an indigenous Aboriginal Moor. If you want to find more out about that, go to your local museums, except it's not going to be on display. You're going to have to make an appointment. You're going to have to know what's there and make a special appointment, show an ID, sign a waiver, to see the documentations that prove all of these things. Smithsonian. We could start there. We can go down that area, why stuff is all jacked up, why we got monsters coming up there. Why do y'all keep disturbing people's burial sites and sacred ground? Sacred burial sites, so you can put it in a museum and charge people to come and see this thing that you, Indiana Jones, thieveried from somewhere else. Gonna come steal something that somebody's star brothers and star sisters gave to them to keep until they return, or for some purpose, for their protection, and you came and stole it and put it in your museum. Offensive. And that's the thing, there's so many offensive things happening here, and there's no defense. That's the imbalance. The innocent, the children, the innocents constantly harvesting the innocence harvesting earlier, just taking it, literally R-wording it off the planet, literally and figuratively. The children. So Halloween is when the veil is thinnest, and that's why the evil is gonna be up to their fucking tricks. And some say if you participate in the Halloween traditions, that you are participating in the worldwide ritual as well. I don't know we're going to pull some cards here and get some messages, but what my point I want to make is we, the light, we can also utilize the veil being the thinnest. Are we going to just let evil reign on the day that the veil is the thinnest between our world and the spiritual world? For me, I'm going to be casting monkey wrenches in all their plans, in all their rituals, and all their sacrifices. That's what I wish for on the world, for the world when the day the veil is thinnest. If you go to church, the people you know who are like, oh, that's the devil, that's the Satan, I'll even be like, yeah, we should go to church. You should go to church and pray. The churches should open on Halloween. The real ones. The real places of worship where people come together to create that worshipful energy together. The real places, that's where y'all should be on Halloween. Even the days leading up to and after, like 3 days up to 3 days after. Just, man, throw them monkey wrenches out. Don't let them just have that day. Don't let them claim that energy in that day. That's how they keep us distracted. And then we give them more of our focus and attention and energy because we're focused on that. Because we all know that Halloween is the day where they're going to be up to their dirtiest dirt. And especially, ooh, I just got a weird something in my left ear. Anywho, that might be a sign for that. What the hell? Who was that? That might be a sign. 21:44 on the clock. That might be a sign, you know. If your left ear is doing something weird. I hear a cardinal outside right now. Chirping. Archangel Gabriel. Angel of Heralds. We were just talking about cardinals, weren't we? The red and the green. That's why I brought up the occult, because you could take that stuff all the way back. You could take it and, oh, this is, man, pots calling kettles black. I'm sick of it. I'm just done with it. Like, seriously. So Halloween, use your magic, the magic that you were born here to weave. The energy, the presence, the prayer, the divine wisdom, the divine justice. Because like I said, that's what I'm going to be doing. Monkey wrenches, bitches! Monkey wrenches. Monkey wrenches, breakdowns, exposures, failures, rituals not fulfilled. Ooh, those demons are going to be mad. 22:55 on the clock. It's going to be so lovely to watch the demons come and get the evil people. It's going to be lovely to watch the demons turn on their conjurers. That's what I wish for Halloween. So, the chessboard, the game is being played on our back. We're the pawns in the game. But if we just stood up all together, 23:44 on the clock. If we all just stood up together, if we all just united, which is their biggest fear, which is what's happening because the world is uniting and they're not broadcasting it. The revolution can't be televised. That's what they're trying to stop. Anywho, let's pull some cards. I've talked enough. Yeah, I do feel a lot of guardian energy. I ain't even gonna lie. I've been feeling the Jesus. Ooh, I've been feeling the Jesus. Ooh. I mean, those are the people from that 24 or 40 on the clock. Those are the people, the bloodlines. There are people from that land whose bloodlines have been there from the time that he walked the earth and his family walked the earth. Maybe that's what the ethnic cleansing really is. Ooh, now something in my right ear. Stop it. So, ooh, frequency. Yep, exactly. And that's what I wanted to get back to. You came here because of your intuition, okay? That is the point. That's what you follow. This is just affirmation, confirmation, revelation, because there's trickery in everything. And just like you're listening to this right now, the enemy, the shadows, the archons, whatever you want to call them, they're listening too. So that's why your discernment, what you feel, what you sense is what is right. And 2544, keep seeing the 44. I am similar to a good therapist. A good therapist should give you the tools so that you don't need to come back and see that therapist. Now, for some people, that might be a few sessions. From some people, that might be a few more sessions. For some people, trauma, that might be a lot of sessions till they get. This is like a muscle. It's like a personal trainer. It's like a muscle that we're all developing. I'm still developing mine. But where mine's at is that I freak other people out because they'd be like, holy shit, how did you know? I'm like, I just knew. And that's just the beginning of the unfoldment. That's like finding the chest. You haven't even opened the chest of what else you can do. Why do you think you're not using all your brain power? Dun dun dun. We only use 10% of our brain power. Yeah, because we're not using our gifts, and our brain powers that machine powers the. Never mind. Sunshine. Heck yeah. It's all this. Wow. Feather. Okay, I'd be fine. I found a feather yesterday. A perfect little morning dove feather. Feathers is coming up a lot. Angelic work, divine work. You tripping. So sunshine. It's spent some time in some sunshine, things coming in on our on the rays of the sunshine, light codes, spending time in the sunshine, but shining bright. You know, the sun, good energy, frequency, all frequency and sunshine. Yeah. Excuse me, you tripping. I'm just saying. Somebody's tripping. I don't know who's tripping, but you're tripping about something. I'm just saying. Your higher self wants you to know you tripping. And see, that's what, it's not about being perfect. It's not about, we're mastering selves. We're becoming masters of self. We're becoming Jedi. And I use that as just an example because it just, saves a lot of words, right? It's true. A Jedi. Learning how, even Star Trek was the relationship between Spock and Kirk, a human, emotional being, and a very logical, unemotional, empathetic being. Like one that lacks empathy, one that is full of empathy. Like even, it's the same thing. It's this balance between both sides of our feeling and our logic, trusting our feelings, staying emotionally centered. So that's why I use that. But that's what we're doing. That's my goal. And you should never, one day, you know what I'm saying? You got it. Gratitude. Yes, thank you. I think that we could all be a little more grateful. I know I could be a little more grateful. So let me speak to myself, for myself. But I know that I am a grateful person, very much so. Grateful for the smallest things. And I could be more grateful. And there's a lot of power in gratitude. That's why there's 2 T's. I didn't spell it wrong. It's gratitude is an attitude, and it determines your latitude, right? Like, okay, you get a flat tire, right? You got a flat tire. But you're like, I'm grateful it's not raining and I'm not on my way to work. Or maybe you're on your way to work and you're like, man, I'm so glad it's not raining. Or, you know what I mean? You find, and then all of a sudden, a Department of Transportation truck pulls up like, oh, you need and they, you know what I'm saying? Like it all suddenly just works out. And it's like, because there was a lesson, there was a pearl. What is, and I'm thinking about cancers right now, because cancers, you rule over shell creatures. You rule over the part of the body cancers rule over is the breasts, which is where the heart is also in between the breasts, or the breast, the chest for the man. for the masculines. And we rule over shell creatures. Creatures with shells. So creatures with shells, like, you know, you make a pearl, right? Or you have that mother of pearl that's on the inside, right? Because there's soft flesh in there and irritants get in there. Sand. I mean, can you imagine? I'm sure. You live in the sand, a grain or two is going to get in there. And when that grain gets into that soft flesh, it like just... And that's how a pearl is made, from an irritation, an intruder, something uncomfortable, that then the shell creature turns into a beautiful pearl that people pay hundreds of dollars for. Also tear open the being and destroy it and eat its flesh and take the pearl. And not to be graphic, but I'm just saying, like, that also happens. You see that darkness there? That sacrifice. So when people think that, you know, we have to think about those things so we're not hypocritical. So we don't want to be hypocrites. And sometimes people mirror, like, people in your life because you need to see your own hypocrisy. That's what they mean when they say you attracts like, or you attract to that person because there's something in them. And it could be something good about them. It could be something inspirational, you know, but it also, you know, if there's something about somebody else that really bothers you, is there something within yourself you're being hypocritical? You need to step back outside of your feelings and observe. Why? Because it feels good to heal that. It feels good to no longer be irritated, to turn that into a pearl. 222. Who's seeing 222? I am. I see a lot of 1222s. I catch 1222 a lot. And then we also have 777 jackpot. What? A lot of 6 energy. 222s, 42s, 24s, 6s, 666s. A lot of that going on. A lot of trickery, a lot of deception, discernment, because we want to move forward. We also got messages that came in from the crystal grid. Mother Earth is not feeling us too much. She's kind of sick of our shit. The waters are not pristine, you know, and we have all these, you know, the whale and the orcas are the ones that keep the ocean waters living. All the sea creatures they all play a role, they all play a part, cleaning and filtering. But the whales, when they dive deep, especially like the blue whales, when they dive to the bottom and they come up, they bring certain essences, nutrients and elements and gases, things to feed the top of the water. And when their numbers decline, 3311, if you're a Libra and you're watching this, I did a whole reading on it. It was pretty down powerful, Libra, your connection to that, the whale and orca elders, and they had a very deep message for y'all. So I would check my channel out. It was pretty recent, 33 on the clock. This message is timeless, but you're catching it in divine time. So we have this message of manifest. Command it, man. That's how you manifest it. You command it. You stand in your power. Tucana, that's a constellation. So if you are, you know, if any of these stand out to you, I'm sure there's more messages. Manifest. Okay. Next we have dominance, Canis Major, which is really interesting. Isn't that where they're saying the Atlas is from? I heard it's something about Canis Major recently. Canis Major. The dog star, is that what Sirius is? But the warriors, the dog warriors, known to be very loyal, very powerful warriors. The dog star. So it's got Sirius. I think there's Sirius is in there. Ties to Egypt. And then we have convey. Camelopardalis. And that does look like a camel, doesn't it? It's almost, this is the compendium of constellations. It was gifted to me by a little, I want to say Sprite. Sure she wouldn't hate that I called her a Sprite. Maybe she would. But a little spirit Sprite. JV was gifted to me. So when you gift cards, when you gift magical tools, they have more power, more energy because they were gifted. Allegedly. Overcome. Manifest, convey, overcome, dominance. Yeah. Bottom of the deck. That's on the bottom. Abundance. That's a place called Crater. A constellation called Crater. But I would definitely look it up. I did it once and it was right on. It was a constellation that referred to Job in the Bible, and then it also talked. I also found a song that Tori Amos wrote about Job and that constellation, and then it was completely relevant with the reading. So definitely, I would look into the constellations. If any of the colors stood out to you, or the energy of the card, like what it meant, or the constellation, I would definitely look it up. There's more. The more you put into your spiritual journey, looking and investigating, the more you'll get out of it. Because it's about you, right? It's about the obedience. It's about the lesson. It's that's why I say discernment, because there's trickery. Like, oh, they said he should do this. Okay, we're gonna see if he gonna pay attention. she gonna listen. She gonna follow what she feel, or she gonna. That's what it's about. And it's real. I'm just reinforcing that it's real to believe. It's like a lighthouse. It's like, yeah, keep going. Yeah, it's a storm. I know. Keep going. I know life is a bitch. We could just keep going. It'll all make sense one day. Keep going. I've been in the storm too. You'll find your way out. This too shall pass. Keep on going. That's what my messages are for. From a place of love and service. This has been coming up a lot. Glorious. There's this Perseus. There's this glorious energy that's about to hit us. Man, 37 minutes. I just love spending so much time doing this sometimes. All right, any other message for us? Yes. What is that? Love. Subtlety. Yeah, there's like, what's the other one? And abundance. Subtlety and abundance with defeat on the bottom of the deck. I think that there is something subtly happening. And I think people are in tune. I think a lot more people are in tune. Just by what you see on social media, and also by, I'm sure there's plenty of people who are in tune, who are just resonating off social media. Like, I don't know how to explain that. Safety is on the bottom of the deck. We've talked about the 3i Atlas, and I keep saying we've talked about it, but I've talked to you, but I was there by myself. Anywho, the 3i Atlas being something that we called for. I just got some kind of energy in my right ear. The Atlas. It's pretty interesting reading. And even had a card that had something that looked like it, which caught me, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And there's somebody from some agency, I saw a clip, allegedly, because again, with AI and, I didn't do my research, but I saw a clip and somebody was saying that 3i Atlas is here for their star. They're here for the Starseeds. 40 minutes on the clock. They're here for the Starseeds, and they have an army in the cryosphere, allegedly a reptilian army, asleep in a cryosphere in case anybody wants to pull some bullshit. I wonder why they're here for the Starseeds. Are they? Why are they here for the Starseeds? Well, let's ask. Are they here to assist us? Oh, and of course, I knew cards were gonna fall out. It said assist. And look who showed up. The whale and Elka. Oh, yeah. Stop, man. Man. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Whale and Elka, or Elka. Look at same colors. Share your song, frequency of sound and diving deep. So we had frequency. Yeah, shine your frequency, shine your light. That's what we got to do this Halloween. Monkey wrenches fly, hit them in their eye. I mean, figurative monkey. Well, I mean, some of these people deserve. Anywho, I want to show you something though. Look at this that I noticed. Okay. All right. First off, there's a pyramid here, right? Under the water. And it looks like all the water beings, the porpoise, the dolphins, the whales, the orcas are going through some kind of portal. Some kind of portal between worlds. I love how on Ahsoka, they time traveled, or not time traveled, warp traveled on like intergalactic whales. I thought that interesting, right? But look here in the back, there's another portal right here. Like there's portals under the water. And what's interesting is what the other card that came out with it was, this is what we were just talking about, right? Karmic relationships. Orion energy. And what's very interesting to me is I have a sense, a knowing, that when Mintaka and Orion was destroyed during the Orion Wars, which is what allegedly Star Wars was based off of, the Orion Wars that destroyed Mintaka, it destroyed Mars, it destroyed a lot of places. And Mintaka was a water planet, a planet with water so clear you could see for miles underneath it, underneath the water. Like you could see for miles underwater because it was so clear, pristine waters. And I have a sense that this planet, the whale and Elka elders, the ancestors, they were seeded here from Mintaka. Like there was an ark that took some of the water beings and other life forms off. That there's a lot of Orion starseeds on Earth because we can't go home. We have no home. And we came to Earth and we brought our water beings here. And see, so the whale and Elka or elders called us back when the same kind of shit. Listen, I'll just read you the card. This is why, Starseeds, the whale and Elka old elders called us back. What I'm about to read you. The whale and Orca elders are benevolent cosmic beings here to anchor a frequency of love onto the planet. And from Sirius, we were assisted by the Sirians. Sirius was involved, Star Sirius, to harmonize it with their song. As they weave around the oceans, they do so much more than any of us know. Their physical presence affects Earth's magnetic field, and their harmonics call us to wake up and remember our own soul's song. Looking into the eye of a whale is something you'll never forget. Whales see into your very being, and in an instant, you're changed forever. They see beyond the physical, the woundings, the identity, the personality, the story. They see right into your soul. If you pull this card, You're being called to surrender to your deepest truth and share it with potency, to bow to who you truly are, to stretch your heart wide enough to hold it all, to leave your fears, doubts, and baggage at the door, to question any part of you that doesn't feel good enough. The whale and orca elders want you to give others the privilege of seeing who you truly are, and for you to see the same in other beings, to drop your hang-ups and personality flaws and get busy revealing the unique note your song came here to sing. Your soul came here to sing. Allow the song that echoes in the 4 chambers of your heart to emanate in all 4 directions. Peel back the layers of suffering and pain and reveal to others your soul's true song, and endeavor to see the soul of all those you meet. Namaste. How are you being called to share your soul's unique song? And we're talking about Halloween. If you play music, play beautiful music on Halloween. Music that'll unlock cages for unjustly imprisoned people. However that may be. Look, and on the bottom we have star bathing, light body, crystal grid transmission activation. Starseeds. And it's funny that I said beginning this transmission at 11:22. I never, that's the first time I've ever said that. And we had sunshine, we had that starlight. What do you see in the cards? Sometimes there are things I don't see in the cards until it's time for me to see them. Star bathing. Under the stars, Halloween, and then we have the 7 star sisters, birthing creations, tapestry of life and expression. So yeah, this is what, you know, even though we do this, it might seem with the subtle and the abundance. I'm getting it will, even though it's going to be subtle, that light that you put into the world, especially when the veil is thinnest, but it's abundant. It's the gravity, the weight, the love.